Hello. Today we're considering the poem Letters from Yorkshire by Maura Dooley. Before we start, if you haven't subscribed yet, please click the subscribe button below. I have the poem here, so let's start. In February, digging his garden, planting potatoes, he saw the first lapwings return and came indoors to write to me, his knuckles singing as they reddened in the warmth. It's not romance, simply how things are. You out there in the cold, seeing the seasons, turning me with my heart full of headlines, feeding words onto a blank screen. Is your life more real because you dig and sow? You wouldn't say so, breaking ice on a water butt, cleaning a path through snow. Still, it's you who sends me word of that other world, pouring air and light into an envelope, so that at night, watching the same news in different houses, our souls tap out messages across the icy miles. In terms of location, we don't know where the narrator of the story is, but we do know that she is receiving letters from Yorkshire. If you don't know where Yorkshire is, it's a very large county in the north of England. This is a personal poem written in the first person voice. The narrator is likely the poet. The use of the second person pronoun you connects with the reader and involves them in the story she tells. The you is also the person sending her the letters from Yorkshire, which quickly establishes a relationship between both the sender and the narrator of the poem. The narrator's tone is conversational, helped by enjambment, run-on lines. The ordinary, everyday language Dooley, the poet, uses adds to this informality. The narrator receives regular letters from a man who works and lives in Yorkshire. We do not know much about him, except that he works outside through the seasons. The narrator refers to him planting potatoes in February. Interestingly, the narrator does not describe the relationship with the man as romantic, as romance. She says it's just how things are. She compares her work to his. She is a writer who feeds words onto a blank screen. It appears she finds this work empty and lacking enjoyment. By contrast, the man's life seems real and close to nature. The rhetorical question, is your life more real because you dig and sow, is not answered, but the reader may feel that the speaker thinks the man's life is better than her own. The phrase knuckles singing suggests the man finds joy in his work, and at the sight of the lapwings returning, which is a sign that it will soon be spring, he wants to share this good news with the narrator. Heartful of headlines suggests that the daily news is often sad or concerning and makes the narrator feel down. But the man's letters make her happy and are a welcome antidote to the depressing national headlines. The narrator lists the ordinary jobs that the man does throughout the year in cultivating the crops he grows. Breaking ice, clearing snow. These active verbs bring energy to the description and make the images vivid. pouring air and light into an envelope. This vivid image reminds us of the power of words to transport us away from our lives and share someone else's experience. The antithesis between space, the air and the light, and constraint, the envelope, emphasizes the point and may suggest the poet's life and experiences are limited, and the letters provide a welcome window into another world. The narrator clearly enjoys receiving and reading the letters from the man in Yorkshire. The poem ends with the man and the narrator apart, watching the same news in different houses, and yet they maintain a close connection. They are soulmates. Their souls tap out messages across the icy miles. The nature of their relationship remains ambiguous, but we know that their sharing of news and correspondence has made them close. Let's take a look at the poem's themes. One theme is the difference between national news and the news that people share about their daily lives, the smaller news. But this smaller news bonds people. It brings them together and makes them closer. The relationship between writing and sharing news of each other's lives is stressed in the line, "Who sends me word of that other world?" Notice the similarity between word and world in that line, which shows that relationship between both in bringing both the man from Yorkshire and the narrator closer together. Like many good poems, the writer leaves it to the reader to make connections and to bring their own interpretations. Another theme is the importance of keeping in touch and communicating. Friendships and relationships need nurturing and maintaining, like the man planting the potatoes, breaking the ice and clearing a path so that the potatoes will grow. The man and the narrator, through writing letters to each other, develop and maintain their strong relationship. Maura Dooley was born in Truro, Cornwall in 1957 and grew up in Bristol. She worked in Yorkshire for a time and then lived in London. There are details in the poem which suggest it may draw upon her personal experience, but we can't assume this to be the case. However, there is a clear suggestion that in this poem the narrator and the poet are one and the same. Having read the poem several times, here are some questions to consider. How does the poet use nature to show that relationships need constant maintenance if they are to develop and continue? Using evidence from the poem, provide examples of how much the narrator values the letters she receives from Yorkshire. I hope you found this video helpful. If so, please don't forget to hit the like button and also to subscribe. Also, check out our other videos which contain analysis of other texts, including poems. Until next time, from Carol and me, write well.